The Galactic Council's chamber had never hosted such chaos. Ambassador Zexatal's crystalline form vibrated with frequencies that would have shattered glass on a dozen worlds, while the Thurian delegates' forearms gestured frantically at the holographic display, showing Earth's latest transgression. At the center of it all sat Marcus Chen, the sole human representative, his feet propped up on the 1,000-year-old obsidian table, chuckling softly to himself. "This is intolerable." The Vorthak High Counselor's voice boomed through the universal translators, causing several smaller species to shield their auditory organs. "Your species was explicitly ordered to maintain communication silence during the Sector 7 negotiations. Instead, you broadcast this." The hologram flickered to life, displaying a recording from the human colony ship Wanderlust. Captain Sarah Rodriguez stood on the bridge, addressing not just her crew but apparently half the galaxy, singing an old Earth song at the top of her lungs while her crew joined in with improvised percussion, using maintenance tools. "We're jamming to Don't Stop Me Now while fixing our hyperdrive in the middle of a supposedly sacred neutral zone," Marcus said, wiping a tear from his eye. "I have to admit, Sarah's got pipes." The assembled delegates exchanged what passed for horrified glances among their various species. The ethereal collective's representative, a being of pure energy contained in a containment field, pulsed an angry red. "The neutral zone has maintained perfect silence for 3 millennia. It communicated through electromagnetic fluctuations. It is a space of meditation, of diplomatic consideration, of boring the hell out of everyone," Marcus interrupted, earning gasps from around the chamber. "Do you know what humans call 3,000 years of silence? A really good nap." High Admiral Kethvar of the Draconian Empire leaned forward, his scales shifting to a threatening shade of crimson. "Human, your species has violated 17 separate galactic communication protocols in the past solar cycle alone. The unauthorized broadcast of what you call memes during the Centauri peace talks. The transmission of something called Never Gonna Give You Up that somehow hijacked our emergency channels for 6 hours. And now this. Musical outburst in sacred space." Marcus nodded thoughtfully. "Rick-rolling the emergency network was Jake's idea. Kid's got talent." He paused, considering. "Though I have to say, the fact that you guys haven't figured out how to change your emergency frequencies in 6 hours is a little concerning. Are you sure you should be running a galactic empire?" The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien outrage. Species that had evolved on worlds separated by thousands of light years somehow managed to achieve perfect harmony in their collective indignation. Marcus waited for the noise to die down, then stood up, his casual movement somehow commanding more attention than all their grand gestures. "You want to know why we won't shut up?" he asked, his voice carrying easily through the vast chamber despite its conversational tone. "Because silence is death. Silence is giving up. Silence is what happens when you're so afraid of making a mistake that you stop trying altogether." He gestured to the hologram, which was now showing the Wanderlust's crew working together to repair their ship, their earlier musical performance having somehow evolved into a remarkably efficient work rhythm. "You see chaos," Marcus continued. "We see communication." When Captain Rodriguez started singing, her crew knew exactly what it meant. It meant we're not giving up. It meant we're in this together. It meant even when we're literally drifting in the middle of nowhere with a broken hyperdrive, we're still human, and that means something. The Thurian delegate's forearms drooped slightly. "But the sacred nature of the neutral zone, sacred to who?" Marcus asked. "To you guys who decided that the best way to handle diplomacy was to sit in complete silence for 3,000 years. How many problems did you solve in that time? How many conflicts did you prevent? How many species did you help?" The silence that followed was different from the usual diplomatic quiet. This was the silence of beings confronting an uncomfortable truth. "Your species has been members of this council for less than 50 standard years," High Counselor Vorthak said slowly. "You cannot understand the complexity of maintaining peace across thousands of worlds." Marcus laughed again, and this time it wasn't the amused chuckle from earlier. This was the laugh of someone who had seen impossible odds and decided to find them hilarious rather than terrifying. "You're right," he said. "We can't understand maintaining peace by staying quiet. You know what we understand? Maintaining peace by talking through problems, by singing when things get tough, by making noise when noise needs to be made and asking questions when everyone else is too polite to ask them." He pulled up his own holographic display, showing not the neutral zone but dozens of other locations throughout the galaxy. Human colonies, ships, and outposts all buzzing with activity, communication, and yes, noise. While you've been maintaining your sacred silence, Marcus said, we've been mediating disputes between the mineral miners of Proxima 7th and the gas harvesters of the Kepler system. We've been teaching the children of refugee species how to laugh again after fleeing war zones. We've been building trade networks, cultural exchanges, and just last week, we helped the Andromedans figure out why their communication array kept playing what they thought was static, but was actually whale songs from Earth's oceans. The chamber was quiet again, but this time it was the silence of attention rather than tradition. So here's what's going to happen, Marcus continued, his voice taking on the tone of someone making a statement rather than a request. We're going to keep being loud. We're going to keep asking awkward questions, singing inappropriate songs, and generally making the kind of noise that living beings make when they're actually alive. He sat back down and put his feet back up on the ancient table. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to try explaining to Captain Rodriguez why she can't sing while she's fixing her hyperdrive. I've seen her handle space pirates, stellar storms, and diplomatic incidents. I'm pretty sure she can handle a bunch of aliens with noise complaints. As if summoned by his words, the hologram of the Wanderlust updated in real time. Captain Rodriguez appeared on screen, her hyperdrive apparently repaired, grinning at her crew. All right, people, her voice crackled through the chamber's speakers. Time to see if this bucket of bolts can still fly. And remember, if we're going down loud. The crew's cheers echoed through the council chamber as the Wanderlust activated its hyperdrive, disappearing from the neutral zone in a burst of light and sound that somehow managed to harmonize with their victory song. Marcus looked around the chamber at the assembled delegates, all of whom seemed to be reconsidering everything they thought they knew about communication, diplomacy, and the proper volume for living life. Any questions? He asked cheerfully. In the silence that followed, a new kind of silence, thoughtful rather than rigid, the ethereal collective's representative pulsed a soft, curious blue. Actually, it said quietly, yes. Could you teach us this? Singing?